Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another day of this Road to TCG Worlds 2017 Sun and Moon special, where we get daily English videos and daily Spanish videos. Today's deck is none other than the New Era Water Toolbox. Now, this is my version of the deck. There will be a lot of versions of this deck, a lot of different attackers being tried out and tested. There's quite a nice variety of water type Pokemon that could possibly be included, or even colorless type Pokemon such as Tauros. But this is my take on the list, okay? I'm not saying it's the best list. I don't have enough games with it to generally say it is the best list, but I feel like it's decent, and hopefully the test games we do right now will showcase that. So let's analyze the deck first. The main star of the deck is of course the new Lapras GX. 190 HP, pretty good for a basic Pokemon, only equaled by Zygarde EX, so a very decent amount. Water typing is pretty good at the moment, I would say. The weakness to grass is not great. I would have imagined Lapras would have been weak to metal or to lightning instead of grass. Feel like that would make it a lot better in this stage in the game, but alas, they did print grass. Now the first attack, collect for 3 cards is pretty decent. I mean, getting a turn 1 attack off with Lapras is not going to be easy. So getting a few extra cards off of the Lapras seems pretty good. Then we have Blizzard Burn, which is the main attack that you will be using for Lapras GX, which deals 160 damage for 3 energy. So I guess most, if not all of the GXs, have like this 3 energy attacks, and seems like progressively they've been dealing, as we've analyzed them. First we have Decidueye, which dealt 90 damage for 3 energy. Then we had Espeon and Umbreon, which also require 3 energy but had different effects. Umbreon of course dealing the 30 damage to the bench, and then Espeon potentially dealing as much damage as your opponent's Pokemon have energy attached. And then yesterday we had Lurantis, which also required 3 energy, and now we have Lapras, but Lapras is the one that deals the most amount of damage, with the drawback that it cannot attack the next turn. Now, it's not only that it can't use Blizzard Burn next turn, but it can't attack, so it can't use Collect, and it can't use Ice Beam GX. Ice Beam GX is a very decent attack. It's definitely one of the least useful GX attacks because there's so much Olympia, there's so many escape ropes going on, but if timed well, it could maybe secure a very nice KO on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it'll be very strategic to use it. I don't think we'll have too many instances available to us, but something like an N plus an Ice Beam to hopefully seal off a game could potentially be game breaking. So we'll see. It's hard to picture like very clear scenarios where it will be crucial, but that like late game N plus Ice Beam GX attack seems pretty decent. 2 retreat costs, not too great, and yeah, I mean, Lapras is just solid and deals a good amount of damage. Blizzard Burn, the drawback can be easily mitigated. We are using Manaphy EX, which with its ability allows you to retreat for free any Pokemon that has any water type energy. So in an ideal world, you have 2 Lapras GX powered up and you switch between them in order to keep attacking and to not be set back by the drawback of Blizzard Burn. We also have Olympia, which is pretty decent to get around the attack and to provide even further healing from rough seas. And the other variety of attackers we are using here is Galceon EX, because there's a ton of new evolved GX Pokemon that are big threats, so Galceon EX could potentially slow them down. It could also finish stuff off with Second Bite, so a very good attacker overall, and has a different weakness than Lapras, which is always useful. Then we have the Tauros GX, which it's very nice to have the possibility of 2 different GX attacks, and this one is less costly, of course, and with the use of Ninja Boy we could potentially surprise our opponents with the Tauros, so that's why I included it. It's also a pretty solid attacker to lead off with. Whilst you power up Lapras on the bench, it punishes your opponent for going aggro on you, and they will be really hard pressed to one-hit KO Tauros. So pretty good attacker overall, as we saw on Monday as well with Decidueye. And finally we have the tech Articuno with a Delta Plus trait. This, once again, its main use is to be Ninja Void into and hopefully surprise our opponent, flip a few. Like, you will usually try to make sure that your opponents are at 60 HP or less from getting KO'd if you want to try this strategy, so that you don't need to flip more than 1 heads with Tri-Edge, because on average you will flip 1.5. But yeah, hopefully the Delta Plus can maybe help you seal off some games. It can maybe allow you to, I don't know, in a very lucky instance, like potentially get 3 prizes off of a Shaman EX, something like that. It's there for variety, and maybe even Chilling Sigh, which automatically puts your opponent's Pokemon to sleep, could be useful in some instances. And we round out the deck with 2 Shaman EX. Now, supporters, this is where it starts getting interesting. We have the 4 Sycamore, 2 N, 2 Lysander, 1 Kukui, which is pretty standard, I would say, as of today. 1 Olympia, as I mentioned, it's great for Lapras. It's also great in case there's a Garb active and Manaphy is not working. And we also have Ninja Boy to surprise our opponents with Articuno and Tauros, or maybe even Galceon, who knows. So pretty good utility supporters, I would say. They definitely have very good synergy with the deck. And then we have the 4 Max Elixir, of course, the 4 Verse Seeker, and the 3 Trainer's Mail. In this case we have 3 Ultra Ball, because we can actually abuse Nest Ball here. You don't want to discard too many cards. Potentially getting Shaman early is not that important, so you can afford to go 3 Ultra Ball, 1 Nest Ball. Maybe 4-1 is better, but I really want to give a try to the Nest Ball. And Nest Ball finally here is strictly better than Level Ball, of course, because Level Ball would not be able to find you anything at all. So Nest Ball is a pretty good option for the deck. We have the 4 Rough Seas, because between retreating and everything, we can actually heal off our Pokemon on the bench, which is pretty nice. Then we have 2 Fighting Fury Belt to increase our Lapras's and other Pokemon HP and damage output by 10. We have 2 Experience Share, because we need to be able to conserve energy so that we can keep a stream of attackers going. We can't 100% rely on the Max Elixirs. And we have the 1 Super Rod to recover an attacker, or most likely to recover energy. And 3 Energy Switch, because they also allow you to conserve energy. They can potentially grant you a turn 1 attack if timed well enough. Hopefully I'll be able to showcase that. And yeah, that's my take on the new Water Box deck. So hopefully we can find some good games here and showcase the deck's capabilities. Now, there's a ton of grass. There's definitely a ton of grass, which in turn should lead to a ton of Volcanion, which therefore should lead to this deck being actually viable. So, as I mentioned the other day, there's a very delicate balance, like a rock paper scissors balance, but looks like we're actually up against Volcanion, so there you go. Other Volcanion players right now want to play Volcanion to counter the Lurantis and Decidueye hype, and therefore playing a deck such as this one is definitely a pretty good idea. My opponent is going first. We don't get any supporter in our starting hand, so a turn 1 attack for us is not looking very likely. And Volcanion, despite the weakness, like, in theory we should be trading 1-hit KOs, right? In theory we should be trading 1-hit KOs, because even though he's weak, we should be able to, or rather he should be able to 1-hit KO my Pokemon as well. I guess a Fighting Fury belted Lapras can actually stand a team up with 3 energy, as long as the Volcanion doesn't have Fighting Fury belt. And yeah, I mean, my opponent already has a Volcanion pretty much set to go. So yeah, there's no guarantee. Even though we have the water, like the obvious water type weakness, or rather the obvious weakness advantage, there's nothing 100% clear here. Now I can grab the Ultra Ball, which seems like the logical choice, I would say. I feel like the experience share are going to be very important here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna discard the other Trainer's Mail and 1 water energy. I'm gonna find another Lapras. Yeah, for now I'm gonna find another Lapras. I'm gonna attach the experience share to the benched Lapras, and I'm gonna attach the energy to the active Lapras, because I'm pretty much giving up on attacking this turn, but I do get to draw 3 extra cards, and since we do get 6 useless cards off of the end, using Collect here will be pretty important. And if my opponent does manage a KO, we can conserve the energy at least. Hopefully he doesn't pull out KO though. That would be terrible for us. That would actually be really terrible. My opponent finds a float zone, so the KO is looking more and more likely. He needs another Volcanion EX and 2. No, now he doesn't need 140. Yeah. Oh, never mind. He only needs 3. He needs 3 fire energy total. There's 1. He needs 2 steam ups, and there we go. Man, the turn to KO is real. The draw of our end was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, sure, we get to keep the energy, which is nice. But since this guy is on the bench, we most likely won't be able to attack this turn. So we won't be able to return the KO. And yeah, just take a look at that. I'm not catching a break here. I'm not catching any break. If I somehow am able to draw a basic Pokemon, a Max Elixir, hit it, and get an energy switch, then I can return the KO. And well, there you go. Huh. There you go. I'm gonna play my Super Rod to put back the energy. But wow, I can actually pull this off. That would be really impressive if I did. That would actually be quite impressive, I would say. Okay, I get another energy, which is not great. You do not want to see that, but I do hit the Max Elixir at least. And unfortunately for us, I can't Ice Beam GX because he did attach the Fighting Fury belt. Ice Beam GX would not get the KO here, but at least I can Blizzard Burn for a KO here, which is great. And now he probably has to spend at least 1 turn using Volcanion, the baby Volcanion, to power up more Volcanion EXs, which in turn allows us to pass the turn if we're not gonna be able to attack at least. There's a fire energy for steam up, an energy retrieval, so the energy for the turn on the benched Volcanion, which makes sense, and he gets to Shaman for 3 cards. So it's really weird that we have yet to see any other basic Pokemon. I definitely didn't check if my Ninja Boy was prized or not. If he hits the Max Elixir, yeah. Now we're in a pretty bad position. I mean, I guess he does need to find either an escape rope, or rather a switch, or the Olympia, if he does play that. An escape rope from us would actually be ideal. Maybe I should be playing a couple of escape ropes. He whips the elixir though, so that's good. It's definitely good. See, the thing here is, I would love to be able to max elixir and attach the experience share to something different, but I might be forced to attach it to Shaman. But now my opponent uses the end, so it doesn't matter. Hopefully we don't draw too terrible off of this, because our deck is still pretty big, and I would say that's a pretty terrible draw. Out of all the cards we could have drawn, we get 3 versus Seekers. We actually get 3 versus Seekers. Okay. The nest ball, I'm gonna grab a Lapras off of the nest ball. And then I'm just gonna end. I could have grabbed a Manaphy, maybe that would have been better. There's a Tauros. There's more energy. And I think I'm gonna give up on the Tauros here. Give up on 1 energy, and I'm gonna grab the Shaman because I definitely want to draw more cards here. Finding a Manaphy would be ideal. That would be like the ideal scenario here. And maybe a Rough Seas. So hopefully this setup for 6 gives us something decent. Okay, so we do it at max elixir, but there's 3 energy in our hand, so we're probably going to whiff, yeah. We were always going to whiff that. And I don't think I can afford to discard more energy, can I? Maybe I can. Or maybe I'm gonna give up on the Verseeker instead of the energy, and I'm gonna use Collect. So, and I get to keep the Lapras as well, which is good news, I would say. So not attacking here, not the end of the world. I do get to collect for 3 more cards. More and more and more energy everywhere. More and more energy everywhere. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. He hits the max elixir. So he's thinking, who do I attach the max elixir to? I think the correct play would be to attach it to the baby or to the other Volcanion, but he actually chooses Shaman for whatever reason. Wow. Okay. What? Okay. So I don't really mind that. Who does he promote though? The baby once again. So essentially he went behind an energy drop. Well, it's not like I have too much to pressure him at the moment. I definitely need to take a KO though. I was really hoping to use the Olympia on this Lapras though. Okay. I can still retreat and maybe use Collect. But if I use my GX attack here, like we know he has energy, so he can KO me. So there's no reason to waste my GX attack right here. I'm just gonna Blizzard Burn and KO his baby Volcanion. He will probably KO me back. I mean, that's the only form of pressure he can actually accomplish. That combined with an N and us whiffing energy would be terrible, but I have yet to play a Sycamore. So the odds of us hitting a Sycamore off of those cards is not too low. And even though he will be down to 2 prices, I don't really mind that because he has no other energy in play. He shouldn't have, he doesn't have any more elixir, so he has no way to accelerate any more energy. And that's pretty huge. That is definitely pretty important here. Very, very important. If she does, okay, she will end, which makes sense. Provided we can get 1 energy or a Sycamore off of this end, we should be okay. I hope. I really, really hope. Please, deck, don't fail me. There's a Sycamore. Yeah, I haven't played a single Sycamore, so out of the 27-ish cards, 4 of those were Sycamore. So under fair conditions, I would say, odds were in our favor for us to draw that. And I even top deck the energy. So I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna use Sycamore, and this time I will take a KO with the GX attack. That way I don't need to bother like finding Olympia or retreating or something like that, or finding a way to retreat and then attack once again. I do whiff the 2 max elixirs, so yeah, we drew those like in terrible order. And thanks to weakness, we will deal 200 damage with the GX attack, no big deal. And now we're down to 1 prize, and we are dealing 170 damage to anything that's not weak to fire, and 340 damage to anything weak to fire, and we're down to 1 prize. And the thing is, my opponent can either Lysander or end. He can't do both, so if he ends, we win. If he Lysanders, we have the energy to use Manaphy in order to win, because he also can't use Hex Maniac. Okay, Pokemon Catcher plus and that would have been a solution, I guess, to my opponent's conundrum. But if we had gotten a few better turns early on, we probably wouldn't have been in this position anyways. My opponent's still playing out. I have no idea what her plan is, or what other tech she might be running to try to get out of this position. She ends. I mean, I guess maybe she doesn't realize that I used the GX attack instead of Blizzard Burn. Oh. Off of the N to 2, she finds the 1 escape rope. If she finds if the other card, okay, I was gonna say, if the other card was an energy, I was about to cry. Kukui actually doesn't help me out. So now we are in top deck mode, and wow, that was the only way my opponent had of coming back. Oh. Please don't. Please don't. Don't tell me. Please don't tell me this is gonna happen, guys. Please don't tell me this is gonna happen. I feel like using up that energy for Steam Up was a mistake, but there we go. There's the energy, so now we finally get to retreat, and we get to deal a bajillion damage. I will say well played as well. And we will deal 340 damage to KO the Volcanion. So I guess props to my opponent for not giving up. That play was definitely the one that gave her a very small chance of victory. Very, very small, but still a chance. And yeah, that's Water Bugs. Like, this is the reason why sure Volcanion seems like a very obvious and very good metagame call right now. But you still have to worry about, like, before you had Greninja to worry about, and now you have Water Bugs to worry about. So a lot of things to take into consideration. A lot of things to take into consideration when deciding a deck. Now we are up against Trainer Chip, and he has a YouTube channel. So yeah, we both recognize each other. Seems like he's playing the Decidueye GX deck, which is actually really bad for us. And yeah, okay, so I feel like starting Lapras. Who do I start? Do I start Manaphy? Is that the most dispensable card? I guess it is. I don't even want to bench the Lapras just yet. I definitely don't want to bench the Lapras. But once again, just like last game, we are going to have to rely on the Trainer's Mail to find us something, which I'm not a fan of. Okay, there's a Rowlet, so it is Decidueye Tauros most likely, and man, Man, oh man, oh man. How do we manage this every time? Every freaking time. Okay. Now I wish I started Lapras so I could collect next turn. But that's ridiculous. That shouldn't really happen. Who do I attach the energy to? I can't not attach the energy. I guess I'll attach it to Manaphy and I will pass. Oh man. This would have been a really cool game to showcase against Trainer Chip, whom I finally met in real life at Athens, at the Athens Regional. Really cool guy. He has a channel as well, so I'll link it in the description down below. Remind me to do that and I will provide the link. We do see a Lugia though, not a Tauros, which I prefer, I guess. But that means my Galceon is not as effective. Okay? That means my Galceon is not as effective. Oh boy. Does he have... probably not. Does he have a marketing account? I mean, no Ultra Ball, so maybe not. There's another Rowlet. There's a Floatstone on the active, of course. Oh boy. Another setup for 3 cards. Yeah, we should be doing things like that. We really should be doing things like that. We shouldn't be drop passing every game. We really shouldn't. Oh boy. And apparently he's streaming. Someone just texted me that he's streaming, so this will go on stream and on YouTube. Oh boy. Already the Decidueye GX. Now where he places the damage is going to be really huge. It's actually going to be really huge. And now I really regret starting Manaphy. Should have started Lapras and just be done with it. He's using Lugia though. That's the second Lugia. Maybe he has Ninja Boy as well for Tauros GX. I'm not entirely sure. Man. Manaphy will potentially be 10 away from getting KO'd. Okay. So the damage on the Lapras. I don't mind that, and I feel like that's a misplay. If you know you're up against this type of deck, you don't want to spread your damage around because of rough seas. I purposely didn't play the rough seas, and I do get an energy, thankfully. So this will mitigate the effects here and the effects of the abilities. And I do get to use collect. I'm not attaching the experience share just yet. I want to save it for maybe a benched, another benched Lapras or something. And I mean, sure, another DCE plus 2 abilities does KO my Lapras. But he's just gonna Lysander up. Most likely my Manaphy. So now I really regret. Now I really regret not attaching the experience share to my Lapras. I definitely really regret that. And yeah, looks like he's not drawing too hot either. But we do have a chance to attack with Lapras this turn. We actually do have a chance. So first off, let's heal. Then let's use the Trainer's Mail and thank you. Is an Ultra Ball preferable? There is an argument for that. No, I'm gonna keep the Sycamore. I'm gonna lose the experience share, which really sucks. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna attach the Fighting Fury Belt to the Lapras. I'm gonna attach the energy to the Lapras. Probably should have grabbed the Ultra Ball. Do I Shaman or do I not Shaman? See, Shaman is another liability where Decidueye can stack up the damage counter, so I'm actually gonna choose not to use the Shaman. Unfortunately, no energy switch, and we whiff the elixir. So yeah, things are not looking good at all. I am probably going to have to use my GX attack right here. And he does decide to attach to the bench Decidueye. Whiffing the elixir is bad though. Really, really bad. And we ourselves lost. We ourselves had to discard my own stadium. Okay. We do get energy, we do get potential Sycamore and things like that. The GX attack is going to be really important here. The GX attack, I don't know. Okay, no, he couldn't have KO'd the Lapras. Never mind. He couldn't have. I really need to find my rough seas though. Another rough seas rather. Okay, so I definitely attached to the Lapras GX here. And see, the thing is, in an ideal world, the energy is a bit worrisome here. We're gonna Ultra Ball away the other Ultra Ball and the water energy. I want to keep the energy switch. I will grab Shaman this time around, because I need to be able to maybe follow up with a Galceon KO on the Lugia. No, I won't be able to do that. Okay. Well, what I can do, what I could do here is Lysander up the Decidueye. Is that better? I think it is. Decidueye is, I feel, a bigger threat. I can force him to attack into the Tauros, or maybe not force him, but make him think twice about this. And I'm gonna use my Ice Beam GX attack. So that Decidueye should definitely stay in the active slot for this upcoming turn. Okay, he really shouldn't be able to do anything to us. And what I could do actually is get a KO with Galceon EX. I could do that, and he's running Lily. Okay, makes sense. Does make sense. If it weren't for that pesky Fighting Fury belt on the Lugia though. Okay, he still has two abilities though. If I had Rough Seas, I would feel a lot more comfortable here. And he's gonna go after the Shamans, which definitely makes sense. Do I have an N? I don't have N. Oh boy. So then, I guess what I really need this upcoming turn is... I don't need to discard more versus Seekers. I definitely don't need that. Man. Okay. I'm gonna take the KO with second bite. 20 plus 110. Oh, wait. $20, $30. Okay, yeah. I was very close to misplaying right here. I was actually very close to misplaying right here. Gonna Sycamore. I will still not find any Rough Seas. I will play the Supra though to put back the two, and I guess the Shaman is better than the Manaphy, just in case I need it later on. I definitely want to max elixir onto the Tauros, I would say. Yep. And not getting the Rough Seas though is pretty rough. And second bite for exactly 140 damage. Perfect. So perfect maths, perfect KO, experience share, and nest ball. Now he only, in theory, has just the one ability. In theory. And I don't have a GX attack anymore, so I don't have Mad Bull GX. What I do have though is the potential to maybe Lysander KO a Shaman next turn. There's a Trainer's Mail. This is very difficult. This is going to be a really difficult game to win. Discarding those two Verse Seekers was just absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. I'm not gonna lie. But the energy count could come into play here for Chip. 1 DC, 1 grass, 1 DC, 1 grass. So he probably has 4 more energy. Maybe 5. There's a TCE. Does he have a Lysander right here? Man. I mean, doesn't really make that big a difference. Wait, what? Okay, so he chooses to take a KO with Air Ball. Chooses to take a KO with Air Ball. So yeah, now we no longer have a KO on a Shaman, which really sucks. I guess I'll promote Tauros for now, but yeah, things are not looking good for us. Our experience share is now completely worthless. Completely and utterly worthless. The best we can hope for here. How do I win this? How do I even win this? Like, even just the Shaman is in threat of getting KO'd. And I'm not threatening Chip at all. Like, at all. And he can just do chip damage on my Shaman and eventually win the game. So, gonna bench the Articuno. Gonna attach the experience share to the Articuno, even though whenever he does get a KO, that's gonna be game. I'm gonna attach an energy to Tauros, I guess. Should have played the level ball before. Yeah, should have played the level ball before and failed it to make my deck 1 card thinner. I do find a potential Verse Seeker, I mean a potential Lysander, but I'm just not gonna do enough damage ever to that Decidueye. Whoa, I almost misplayed right there. So if he does attack me, he will deal 90 damage and I will deal 110 back, so not even enough. And he has a Lysander off of the 2 card end to win the match. So good game, Chip. Feel like I could have made it a little closer had I drawn just a little bit better. Those first few turns were horrible. Not being able to conserve energy through experience share. A lot of things happened, but good game to Chip. That was definitely a bad matchup. Decidueye just hits for so much damage, and even Galceon EX is not good against Decidueye because they always have either the Lugia or the Tauros or some other type of attacker in order to bypass the Galceon effect. So sure, you beat fire, you lose to grass. Grass loses to fire, fire loses to water. We have this rock paper scissors thing going on right now, at least with those 3 types. There's of course other viable decks which come into play, but I feel like there's a pretty big, because of the new cards released, that's the focus right now of the meta game. But yeah guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Not gonna play, well, I guess I'll play one more. No, yeah, I'll play one more game, I guess, because that second game didn't really showcase the deck too much. The first game didn't either. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with the draw engine we are using. We're simply, like both games, we didn't draw a single supporter on turn 1, so there's not much you can do about that. And we're up against another fire type deck, so this might be Incineroar, because, or maybe even Typhlosion, because I didn't see water typing, therefore it's not Volcanion. That's what I do know. It's definitely not Volcanion. It's definitely not Volcanion. So we do get an okay start. No big deal. Once again, no supporter, and I guess now there's the argument that the Nest Ball could have been an Ultra Ball, and therefore we could be drawing more cards off of Shaman from that. There is that argument, and a very valid one as well. We do have 2 Trainer's Mail though, which help us, and a few mulligans do help as well. We do hit an energy. My opponent does start Talonflame and is going first. So yeah, I mean, sure, we have the type advantage, but we're gonna be trading 1-hit KO for 1-hit KO, and he potentially has access to, like, there's no guarantee that we're gonna KO him. So let's see what we can get off of the Trainer's Mails. The first one gives us a Max Elixir. Do I want the Max Elixir, or do I want the energy switch? No, definitely want the Max Elixir. And then I guess I can use the Max Elixir and hit. Great. See, Articuno is pretty great as a secondary attacker here. So let's see the Trainer's Mail. We're just not gonna hit supporters today on turn 1. Besides Olympia, I guess. I could use Olympia instead of the energy switch. I guess that's better. So I'll do that. And now let me think. I'm still gonna need 2 flips, right? Because Typhlosion has 150 HP. So even with the Fighting Fury Belt, 1 flip, that would be 140. So yeah, I'm gonna touch the Lapras to, I guess, force him to require more energy to KO me, and I'm gonna collect. I'm gonna collect, and I'm gonna be completely completely disappointed off of our collect. Immediately the Typhlosion, so he might not even need to attack with Talonflame. Wow. He needs 3 energy out of the top 5 to KO my Lapras. Only 3 energy. Does he get them? Probably. Yep. That's more than enough. Gee, thanks, Shaman. Thanks for showing up. Now I need him to stay asleep. Now I really, really, really need him to stay asleep. And I'm going to, I mean, at least with the Fighting Fury Belt, oh no, I don't even, he only needs 2 energy. He only needs 2 energy to beat us here. he stays asleep at least. So we have that going for us, except not really. He will then, an improvement for him obviously. And the issue here is the fact that he has the Talonflame backup and already another Typhlosion set up. Oh boy. And my only card to draw is N. The only card, okay. Kukui doesn't help me. I still need him to stay asleep. Or I sacrifice something and then try to get a KO with Articuno, but no. I have no clue what to do. I mean, I have to hope he stays asleep. That's what I have to hope for, and that's pretty pathetic. I can't even Sycamore here, or N. I'm just gonna pass. Please stay asleep. Yes, he stayed asleep. Okay. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I'll maybe get 1 KO. I will maybe get 1 KO. I guess if I manage to KO the bench Typhlosion, then nah, I mean, Flare Destroy is not gonna do anything. Never mind. Never mind. See, I could use some max elixirs right about now. So what I'm going to do is I could Kukui to secure the KO, but I need to take risks here. Like, I need to have a backup attacker. So I need the elixirs, and I need them now. At least an experience share. I get 1 elixir, I guess. But I really needed an experience share. Really needed an experience share. Well, actually, Galceon might not all be a lost cause, actually. Because Galceon can't be damaged. Okay, I need 2 flips here, Articuno. 1, 2, perfect. 3 flips. Great. Good job, Articuno. 300 damage. That is so cool. Okay, and we get another elixir, though that doesn't help us. We needed it the previous turn. Oh boy. I'm probably going to have to sacrifice something else. There's a Berserker into an N. So we will actually lose a card advantage we could have had. Him drawing energy is good for us, although, yeah. Just enough energies every time. Just enough energies every time. Okay. I don't have a good 2 energy water type attacker. I do find an energy. So I guess I can bench the Lapras, and then I can retreat into the Lapras and then play a max elixir. And I do hit. I don't have any free retreater though that I can Ninja Boy into, so I'm just gonna pass. If he somehow doesn't KO me, I'm going to lose to this beautifully bad deck of my opponents. 1, 2. Oh, 0 damage. Wow, he actually dealt 0 damage. Wow, that's terrible for him. That is actually terrible. That's so lucky for me. I'm not attaching the energy because I don't need to. This should be game. Well, no, he still has access to Lysanders. There's 1 Berserker, 2 Berserkers, 1 Lysander. Wow, he actually chose to discard cards off of his deck, so I guess he gave up. Wow. That was really unlucky for my opponent, but I guess he wasn't running too many energy, actually. I don't think he was running too many energy, but yeah. We managed to pull that off. Like, I have no idea how we did that. And I was saying I didn't attach the energy in case he did Lysander and maybe whiffed the KO. I could attach and retreat once again into my Galceon. So yeah, that's Water Toolbox for you guys. Unfortunately, the deck didn't really run well at all. All 3 games we had a pretty rocky start. And we're using the same engine we've been using all this, like the past few days, so I don't know. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. Please do like or a dislike if you didn't like how we drew or whatever. Any support, you guys being here is absolutely amazing. The videos have been getting quite a ton of support. I obviously can't expect everyone to watch every single video, but for those of you that do, you guys are awesome, and even if you don't do that, you are still awesome for watching me and hearing me say this right now. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the last day of the Sun and Moon special with a deck that even I don't know what it's gonna be, but I'll have to decide that like right after I finish recording this. Thank you guys, and bye bye.